Oh God, when I will see beautiful bride. My dear, you look so gorgeous. Customer, see how you're already shining with your fine hair.
In the busy city of Asaba, there was a famous hairdresser named Sommy. Her small salon, Sommy's Touch of Heaven, was tucked away on a side street, but everyone knew about it. Women from all over the city, from government offices to the big markets, would line up to have their hair done by her. The sound of chatter and laughter from her salon filled the air from morning till night. Sommy's skill was unlike anything anyone had ever seen. She could create any style, from simple braids to elaborate wedding designs, with incredible speed and perfection. Her hands moved like magic, and her hair extensions were always soft, shiny, and never itched or broke. A hairstyle from Sommy could last for months, looking as fresh as the day it was made. But no one knew where she got her hair supplies or how her hands worked so fast. Sommy was a quiet woman. She didn't have any friends or family in Asaba. No one knew where she lived. Every morning, she would arrive at her salon just as the sun was rising, carrying a large, heavy bag. The moment she unlocked the door, women would start to gather, forming a line that often stretched down the street. She was always the last to leave, long after the city lights had come on.
People often wondered how she managed it. Some thought she had a secret supplier from abroad. Others whispered that she had a supernatural gift. But Sommy never shared her secrets. It's a gift from God, and I watched some videos on how to make hair online. Soon, a group of other hairdressers in the area, led by a woman named Mama Tope, began to grow jealous. They had been in the business for years, yet their salons were always empty while Sommy's was packed. How can she make so many people's hair in one day? Mama Tope complained to the others. It's not normal. And her hair? Have you ever seen hair that is perfect? I heard she doesn't even live in a proper house. She just disappears at night. The jealousy grew. Some of the women tried to copy Sommy's styles, but they failed. No matter what they did, they could never match her quality. Frustrated, they started spreading rumors about her. Be careful with that Sommy and her hair. Who knows where she gets it from? What if she's using something? I heard she used some chemicals and gorilla glue to make the hair stronger. But despite the rumors, the women ignored the gossip and continued to flock to Sommy's salon. Her work was just too good. Her hands made them feel at peace whenever she touched their heads. She had become a status symbol. Even the wives of wealthy men would send their drivers to book appointments from her. Some even booked appointments with her online just so they could meet up. They trusted Sommy to give them the best, even though some would fall sick for few days after making their hair. One pregnant woman even went into labor in her 6th month, 2 days after Sommy made her hair. Another woman was fired from work just 1 week after Sommy made her hair. Yet, they still came to Sommy. One evening, Mama Tope came home, her face twisted with anger. Her salon had been empty all day, but as she walked past Sommy's shop, she saw a long line of happy customers. She stormed into her house, where her daughter Tope was getting ready for a party. "Mommy, can you give me some money?" her daughter asked. "I want to go to Auntie Sombi's shop to fix my hair for the party. I want that new style everyone is talking about." Mama Tope froze. Her own daughter, going to her rival's shop? She clenched her fist, her heart pounding in anger. "Why can't I do your hair? What style can she do that I can't do?" "Sorry, Mommy," her daughter said, not looking up from her phone. "But Auntie Sommy's work is just better. It lasts longer. Have you seen the hair she made Becky last week? That hair is so fine."
Mama Tope's eyes fled with a deep, burning anger. First, it was her customers. Now her own daughter was betraying her for this woman. She stormed into her bedroom, tossing and turning all night as plans formed in her mind. By morning, she had made a decision. She was going to find out Sommy's secret.
The next day, Mama Tope didn't open her salon. Instead, she waited in a nearby shop, her eyes fixed on Sommy's door. She watched as Sommy arrived, calm and graceful, and as the line of customers quickly formed. The sight of her own daughter joining the line made her blood boil. She waited all day, her patience growing thin. Finally, as the sky turned dark and the city noises softened, Sommy closed her salon and walked away, carrying her large bag. Quietly, Mama Tope crept out of her hiding spot and began to follow her. Sommy walked through the bright streets, then turned into a quieter, darker part of the city, where the big buildings were replaced by older, smaller houses. Mama Tope's anger began to mix with curiosity. Where exactly does this woman really live? After walking for a while, Sommy turned into a narrow, deserted alley. Mama Tope hesitated, but followed, sticking to the shadows. Sommy stopped in front of a small, rusty metal door that looked like it led to a storage room. She looked around, as if sensing something, but didn't see Mama Tope hiding behind a pile of old crates. Sommy knocked on the door 3 times. To Mama Tope's shock, the door creaked open by itself, and Sommy stepped inside. Mama Tope rushed forward, peeking through a crack in the door before it closed completely. The room was dim, lit only by a few candles, and what Mama Tope saw made her stomach churn. There were no fancy hair products or supplies. Instead, there were bundles of what looked like human hair, but they seemed to move and shimmer with a life of their own. In the center of the room was a small, strange-looking pot, boiling with a dark, thick liquid. Sommy approached the pot and began to whisper. She picked up a bundle of ordinary-looking hair and dipped it into the boiling liquid. When she pulled it out, the hair was transformed. It was now glossy, strong, and radiant.
Mama Tope gasped, stumbling back a step. The sound was soft, but it was enough for Sommy to hear. Sommy's head snapped towards the door. Her eyes, usually calm, now glowed with an eerie light. In an instant, Sommy was at the door, yanking it open. She saw Mama Tope, whose face was pale with terror. "You, what are you doing here?" Sommy hissed. "You should not be here." Mama Tope tried to run, but Sommy reached out and grabbed her arm. A strange cold force shot through Mama Tope's body. She opened her mouth to scream, but no sound came out. She tried to move her hands, to fight back, but they felt heavy and stiff, like she was trapped in a nightmare. Sommy looked at her, a knowing smile on her face. "You wanted to know my secret, right? Now you are a part of it. You will never braid hair again as long as you live." Mama Tope felt a wave of weakness wash over her. Her hands felt like they were on fire. She looked at her hands, and to her horror, her fingers, once skilled and delicate, were now stiff as sticks. Then Sommy pushed her away. "You can go now, and remember, if you tell anyone what you saw, it will be the last thing you ever do." Stumbling and disoriented, Mama Tope fled from the alley. The city lights blurred through her tears. She was now a hairdresser who could no longer hold a comb. She was ruined. When Mama Tope finally reached her home, she was trembling. Her daughter was waiting for her. "Mommy, where have you been? I've been calling you. Look at my hair. Auntie Sonny did it. Isn't it beautiful?" Mama Tope looked at her daughter's perfect braids. But all she could see was the dark boiling pot and Sommy's glowing eyes. She tried to speak, to warn her daughter, but only a rough, guttural sound came out. She reached for her daughter with her stiff, clumsy hands. Her daughter stepped back, confused and a little frightened. "Mommy, what's wrong with your hands? Why are you acting so strange?" Mama Tope shook her head, tears streaming down her face. She pointed towards the direction of the alley, her movements jerky and unnatural. But her daughter didn't understand. She just thought her mother was sick or overcome with jealousy. The next day, Mama Tope tried to go to her salon. She picked up a comb, but her fingers wouldn't obey. She dropped it. She tried to part a customer's hair, but her hands were too stiff and clumsy. The customer got annoyed and left. "What is wrong with you, Mama Tope? See, if you don't want to make my hair, just say it," the customer snapped. "I'll just go to Sommy's shop." These words were like a knife in Mama Tope's heart. She looked around her empty salon, the silence screaming at her. Her life's work was over. The jealousy and anger that had driven her were now replaced by a deep, crushing despair. She had lost everything. Meanwhile, the other hairdressers noticed the change in Mama Tope. They saw her struggling with her hands and heard her strange, choked attempts at speech. "Have you seen Mama Tope? It's like she has forgotten how to do hair. And she can't speak properly. I think something happened after she started bothering Sommy. Maybe she tried to go spiritual to fight Sommy and it backfired." Mama Tope couldn't bear the pain any longer. The shame of losing her skill, the fear of Sommy, and the isolation of her silence became too much. One evening, alone in her house, she found a bottle of strong local gin and mixed it with poison. With tears in her eyes, she drank it, unable to face another day of torment. When her daughter found her lifeless body the next morning, she let out a scream that brought the neighbors running. The community was shocked, but none were more affected than Mama Tope's best friend, a woman named Dora. Dora knew, deep in her soul, that Sommy had done something to Mama Tope. She had heard Mama Tope's frantic, silent attempts to communicate before she died. She just needed to find proof. Determined, Dora decided to visit a powerful native doctor in a nearby village. She told him everything about Mama Tope's sudden loss of her skill and voice and her suspicion of Sommy. The native doctor listened carefully, his face growing grim. "That woman is not ordinary woman. She is using a very strong charm, tied to the earth and to spirits. You cannot confront her directly, but I will give you something for protection." He handed Dora a small leather pouch. "Keep this with you. It will shield you from her magic. Follow her, but be warned. If she catches you, your life will be in great danger." Dora nodded and thanked the native doctor, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and resolve. She knew this was her only chance to avenge her friend. That night, Dora waited in the shadows near Sommy's salon. She watched as Sommy closed up her shop, her movements as calm as ever. As she walked away, Dora followed, clutching the protective charm in her pocket. The journey was the same as Mama Tope had taken, through the dark, quiet alleys. Dora's heart raced, but she was determined. She saw Sommy enter the same rusty door. This time, Dora found a better vantage point, a small high window covered in cobwebs. She wiped the glass and peeped inside. The scene was even more horrifying than she had imagined. Sommy was not just boiling hair, She was chanting over the pot, and from the shadows of the room, faint, shimmering figures seemed to emerge, spirits of women with long, flowing hair. She would gently take a strand of hair from these spirits, and as she did, the spirits would fade, looking sad and weary. She would then dip the spiritual hair into the pot, and it would become the physical, perfect hair she used in her salon. Dora gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. Sommy wasn't just using magic. She was stealing the very essence of beauty from spirits to empower her business. Suddenly, Sommy's head snapped up. Her eyes locked directly onto Dora's at the window. A cruel smile spread across her face. "Dora, Dora?" Sommy's voice echoed, though she hadn't opened her mouth. "You are just like your friend, putting your nose where it doesn't belong." The rusty door flew open by itself. Dora tried to run, but her feet felt rooted to the ground. Sommy appeared in the doorway, her form seeming to grow taller and more menacing. "I killed the native doctor you visited," Sommy said coldly. "He thought his little charms could stop me, and I killed Mama Tope too. Now you would join them." Sommy raised her hands, and a dark mist began to flow from them, swirling towards Dora. Dora, terrified, held up the leather charm. It glowed with a soft, warm light, pushing the dark mist back. Sommy looked surprised, then furious. "His power was stronger than I thought," she said angrily, "but it will not save you." The two women stood frozen in time, the light from the charm holding back Sommy's darkness. Dora knew she couldn't win a fight, but she had seen what she needed. She had to get away. With a sudden burst of strength, she turned and ran, breaking the magical hold. She ran through the alleys, not stopping until she reached the safety of the bright, busy streets, Sommy's angry scream echoing behind her. She had the truth. Now she needed a new plan to expose it. Dora was exhausted and terrified when she got home. She fell into a troubled sleep. In her dream, a bright, shining figure appeared to her. "Dora, get up," the woman said. "Do not be afraid. Sommy's power is not her own, it is stolen. Confront her with fate and she will fall." Dora woke up with a start, but she felt a new sense of peace and courage. She remembered the small bottle of oil her grandmother had given her. She found it, held it tightly to her chest, and prayed for strength. She knew she couldn't fight Sommy with the native doctor's charm, but she could fight darkness with light. She returned to the alley, not with anger, but with resolution. This time, she did not hide. She walked right up to the rusty door and pushed it open. Sommy was still inside, stirring her pots. She looked up, her eyes burning with fury. "You dare return? I won't show you any mercy this time. I will finish you." "You are finished, Sommy," Dora said, her voice steady. "Your secret is out. Your power is broken." Sommy laughed, a harsh, cold sound. She raised her hands and the dark mist filled the room again, thicker and more menacing than before. The shimmering spirits wailed in the background, but Dora stood firm. She opened the bottle of oil, poured it on the floor, and began to say something loudly. "What I do not know will not know me. What I did not plan for you will not affect me." As she said those words, a brilliant, warm light began to shine from the oil she had poured on the floor and from her too. The dark mist recoiled, hissing as if in pain. Sommy screamed, shielding her eyes. "Stop it!" The candles in Sommy's room flickered wildly as Dora's voice filled the air. Each word she spoke seemed to push the darkness back inch by inch. "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind," Dora declared, her voice growing stronger. The light filled the room, touching the shimmering spirits. One by one, they stopped wailing, their faces becoming peaceful, and they slowly faded away, finally free. The pot in the center cracked and boiled over, the dark liquid turning to steam. Sommy fell to her knees, her power shattered. She looked old and weak. "What have you done?" she whispered. "I have set them free," Dora said, as she walked out, "and I have set this city free from you." The next morning, Dora went to the police with her story. They were skeptical, but when they went to the alley and found Sommy, now just a confused, frail woman, surrounded by strange and burnt-out pots and bundles of ordinary, cheap hair, they had to believe something had happened. Sommy was taken away. Without her stolen power, she was nothing. She was later transferred to a psychological home, a broken woman who just mumbled about lost spirits. The news spread all over Asaba. The women were shocked and horrified to learn the dark secret behind their beautiful hair. They threw away the hair Sommy had given them. Dora was hailed as a heroine. The other hairdressers, ashamed of their past jealousy, apologized and thanked her. Mama Tope's daughter came to her crying, "Auntie Dora, thank you. You brought peace to my mother's spirit." She thanked Dora for avenging her mother. With Sommy gone, the women of Asaba returned to the local salons. They realized that real beauty didn't come from dark magic, but from skill, community, and honest work. The city's hair business flourished again, this time built on a foundation of truth and light. Dora had not only exposed the terrible secret, but had also restored peace and unity to the women of her city. And to this day, the old rusty door remains locked. But sometimes, when the wind blows through the alley at night, people say they hear faint whispers, the sound of freed spirits, thanking the woman who set them free. Dear friends, the story of the hairdresser's secret teaches us profound lessons. First, it warns us about the dangers of jealousy and the importance of being content with our own gifts. Mama Tope's envy led her down a path of destruction. Second, it reminds us that success built on wickedness and the suffering of others can never last. True and lasting success comes from honesty, hard work, and a clean heart. Finally, it shows us that light will always conquer darkness, no matter how powerful evil may seem. Faith, courage, and standing for what is right will always prevail. Dear viewers, what did you learn from this story? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If this tale of mystery and faith touched your heart, please give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching, and remember, no matter what you face, always choose the path of light. Stay blessed.